Hey, I have to cough already. Like, professional YouTuber over here. Hey. But you know, sometimes when you put on like really cheap lip balm and you kind of get that like in the back of your throat, that's where I'm at right now. Anyhow, hi. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing better than I am. Okay, so as the title suggests, welcome to my RV. This is not actually my RV. This is a RV that my parents got when they first bought this like plot of land. This was like the first RV trailer that they stayed in, and so they were kind of using it as like a storage area kind of. And so this is where I'm going to be for a little while. So get used to this background, this lovely wood paneling, because this is where I'm going to be for the foreseeable future. And it does make me kind of sad because it is currently October 13th of 2018. And here in the very high up valley near Alamosa, Colorado, it is going to be getting cold. It is, there are some nights where it's like in the 30s. I do have a heater, which I'm staring at. It's right here. It's an oscillating infrared dish heater that I got at Walmart, which I was surprised at something like that. But this RV is so small. Like, you literally could not travel in this thing with more than 3 people tops. So there's that. I got a hot plate skillet, like a hot skillet kind of thing, so that I can cook in. There's like a toilet back here. I still have to go over to my parents' trailer to shower, but it's really not that bad. I just wish they didn't smoke because it is so hard for me to breathe in there. But all of a good chunk of my belongings are back here. So hopefully having like this table and this chair, and everything else, hopefully I'll be able to do like more makeup videos and stuff. I have like an entire tote bucket, those Rubbermaid totes, you know what I'm talking about? I have an entire one of those full of makeup. And so we were going through and we were like opening different totes that were still in my truck. And my mom's like, this one's just makeup. And I was like, it's always just makeup. It's all just makeup. Like, I didn't grab like a whole lot of like actual sentimental belongings or anything like that. I grabbed clothing and I grabbed makeup because that's what I needed at the time, because that's what I needed for work. She shed. It could be a she shed. I have asked my parents if I could like remodel or stick things on the walls or something, and she said no. But this thing is from like the 70s or something, so it's very vintage. Vintage is a good word. I thought I heard something. There's ghosts in here. Yeah, even this tote down here, this one is just full of makeup. You can't really tell, but it's pretty well full of makeup. There are some command strips, or not command strips, command hooks in like the bathroom area, because the bathroom's not big enough for a trash can. So there's like command hooks in there to like hang up a trash bag and stuff. There's a bed. It's kind of a futon because it's kind of like a couch that you pull out, but it's somewhere to sleep, I guess. It's not the comfiest thing in the world, and it's not the bed that I used to have, but I need to work through that and just kind of like let go of the things that were left behind. Obviously, I'm still going to be seeking legal action, I guess, because not only did she take a lot of money from me, but she also threw out all of my belongings. So that's like $20,000 right there of things that I had worked really hard for and don't have anymore. And I have text messages. I'm waiting for Apple to release my account. I have text messages proving like she acknowledges that there was like things that she was supposed to pay me, but she didn't. So I'm going to be doing that on Monday, but it's Saturday today, so I can't really do that today. Is there an address we can send you stuff to? No. And the reason for that is because I could absolutely, there's a post office, I think in Hooper. I think it's called Hooper. Oh no, there's these little like podunk towns that like between where I'm at and Alamosa, you have to slow down twice to get there. But there's these random little like podunk towns that like one side of the street is a town and it has a dispensary and that's like it. That's the town. Another town, it says coffee art, but I saw it driving to Alamosa today and it says like good coffee or great coffee, local art or something like that. But they make it seem like they do like coffee art at this random little like roadside spot. But there is a post office over here and I'm sure that I could get a P.O. box up there. However, P.O. boxes do cost money. And since I am currently job hunting, I don't want to spend money on something like that. And I would never want to give people, my like personal address. There's also the thing of like people, when I was younger and I would see YouTubers setting up like P.O. boxes and stuff like that, they would be like, but you don't have to send me anything. Like I got this P.O. box for my fans, but you don't have to send me anything. And then people would like send them stuff. And like with the Graveyard Girl situation, I used to watch her like mail unboxings and stuff like that and be like, wow, people are sending her like some really weird stuff, like random boxes of like random things. And I was like, yeah, that's really interesting. And I like the idea of like keeping all the letters in a binder with like page protectors and stuff like that. So you can go back and like read people's letters and like reinitiate pen pal type deals. But it also kind of seemed like the bigger people got in their YouTube sphere, the less they cared about stuff like that. And I never want to be that person that sits there and is like, but you guys don't have to send me anything. And then sit there and like be ungrateful for everything. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be that person. And the idea of having a P.O. box just makes me feel like I would be that person that's like, hey, got a P.O. box, send me stuff. And then I don't want people to feel obligated either, because I know that like, yeah, I'm going through things right now, but I know there's other people out there who are going through, you know, similar things or harder things. You know, that's life. But hopefully I'll start working again here soon. There is a Walmart out here. There's one. It's in Alamosa. And when you're in the Walmart, you really can't tell where you're at because I feel like all Walmarts are kind of the same. But then you walk outside and you're like, it's the actual middle of nowhere. Like, honestly, like looking out the windshield of this RV, there's like nothing. There's like actual nothing. It's like mountainy type stuff in like the far distance. And like behind me is like a whole like of mountains. I don't know what they're called, a range of mountain. I don't know. I don't know. So there's mountains pretty much all around, except that way towards Alamosa, there's nothing. So like when you're driving down the street, like going into town, there's literally nothing for miles. And my mom says it's a lot of like potato farms and stuff like that, but you really can't tell because it's like the end of season. So there's like all the ground is flat. There's like one tree just sitting there, lonely, can relate. It's very sad. And then the next town over in this direction is Salida. The next big town in this direction is Salida. I could have got a transfer from work to work at a store in Colorado Springs. However, did myself a little Google. Colorado Springs is almost 2 hours from where my parents live. It's like 1.5 and some change, but then you factor in like snow and traffic. So it's like 2 hours away. And there was no way that I was going to be commuting 4 hours because at that point I might as well just go back to my old store in Arvada. Which the fact that I've gone this long and hadn't told you guys where I was working is kind of like unbelievable. But I kind of want to keep it that way. I'm sure people would pick up eventually. Just based on context clues, I suppose. So let's see. People that have fixed can use a general delivery service or mail is hauled out of post office for someone to pick up. Wonder if that's possible in your town. I don't know. Because I didn't even know that was a thing that you could do, but that's interesting to know because I was struggling to figure out like just a mailing address. So that's kind of interesting that that's a thing that people can do. I mean, I'm sure that's something that at least like a handful of people here probably do because there is nothing for miles. I could check, but then again, like I said, I don't want it to be like this big flood of thing. Not that it would. There is a handful of humans who watch my videos, a handful of people who, tune in and spend 30 or 40 minutes of their day hanging out with me. It's never going to turn into like a huge kajigger. But there's something about being one of those people that has a P.O. box or does merch or anything like that. It just seems like kind of falling into the celebrity of YouTube, and that is not me. Like not even close, not even on my radar. No, just definitely no. Because I've seen people start from like actual nothing. Like I used to watch Shane Dawson in the way back, start with actual nothing and get these big, huge egos and stuff like that. And then they kind of like drop off from that. And then they kind of like go back to their roots. And I don't know. The idea of it, I just can't get past. I mean, it would be cool, I think, in some aspect to like have letters that you guys have written me or have things that you guys have made, stuff like that. I would never want people to like send me money or send me like items that they bought or something like that, because like that's money you guys need for like your bills and stuff like that. Like in some aspects, yeah, it would be cool, but I just can't imagine dipping into all of that. Just, oh no. Not today, not any day. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah, I can't imagine being homeless with any kids. For the 6.5 years that I had Ishka, and obviously having a guinea pig is very different from having children. But for the 6.5 years that I had Ishka, like I never had a stable home, but somehow always found a way to feed her, always found a way to take care of her. I was moving constantly from place to place with her and never once felt like I was doing enough for her. And I remember right before all of this happened at Cheryl's house, I remember sitting there and talking to her, because I talk to her all the time. Talking to her and just saying, like, I wish I could do better for you. Like, anytime that I was, like, living with a boyfriend or something like that and everything started to fall apart, just sitting there talking to her and crying, like, she didn't understand. Like, maybe she did in some way, I don't know. But sitting there and talking to her and just being like, I wish I could do better. Like, that's it. I wish I could do better for you. I wish that I could change the situation. I wish I could give you more. And always feeling like crap because I couldn't. And even this last time, telling her the same thing. I wish I could do better for you. And then not having her with me anymore. There's a weird, guilty sense of freedom that comes with that. Because I wish I still had her. But I know that in a situation like this, where I literally don't even have enough space for myself, there's no way I could ever do that to her. Like, not in a million years. I could never do that to her. I'm sure she wouldn't care, but I definitely could not. I couldn't ever. So yeah, I feel like in some ways Ishka could kind of pick up on things. Um, and to me, she was my kid because I can't have kids. So to have her for 6.5 years, like to have that one piece of stability for 6.5 years and then not have her anymore. It was incredibly hard. And this past few weeks, it's been almost a month. I can't believe it's been almost a month. It'll be a month and 5 days on the 18th. That just hit me so hard. The fact that it's been a month and I still, even now, I'm like, I have to go take care of Ishka. Like, I'll be at the store. I'll be like, do I need to buy lettuce or spinach? Should I get her an apple? Like, all these things that I used to do. And like, even now thinking like, crap, I got to take care of Ishka. But I don't have her anymore. So I don't know. It's like I said, it's a weird sense of guilt in some ways because I feel like obviously I feel lonely. Like she was an emotional support animal. I feel lonely and I feel sad. But then realizing like there was no way that I could properly take care of her. It just was not. It was not going to happen. And what's weird is that timing is everything. Timing is absolutely everything. And I went into town the other day and I was looking around and I was like, Ma, I don't see any pet stores. She's like, yeah, there's no pet stores out here. And I'm like, oh, because how was I going to take care of Ishka if I didn't have access to food, if I didn't have access to hay? I couldn't, like, there's just no way that I would be able to take care of her in the way that I needed to. Like, it just wasn't going to happen. So I feel bad that I don't have her anymore. I mean, I do, but a different form. But I also feel this weird sense of relief because I don't have to stress and like freak out about never being able to do for her. You know what I mean? Like, y'all, it's complicated. I donated all of her stuff to a vet that was by the house, the ones that actually told me that she was gone. So all of her things are being put to good use. The medicine that I got from the other vet is all being put to good use. So, you know, she lives on in some form, in some really, really morbid form. Employee relief funds. See, I'll get to that in a second. So, no. The thing is, when all this started happening, the first thing I did was I went to my boss and said, hey, I don't know what's going on and I can't guarantee that I'm going to be here for much longer. And I explained the situation to her and she told me about some resources that the job had. And so I reached out to them. They said that they were going to email me and they never did. So let me get a tissue real quick because I'm sure everyone wants to hear me like doing that for the next like 20 minutes. So I reached out to them and they never got back. They never got back to me. If you see things like swirling around, it's really dusty in here. This chair I'm sitting on is like the dustiest of things. My mom swears that everything was vacuumed, but I'm like, but was it? But was it though? Because I don't think it was. It's just so dusty in here. It's ridiculous. So I don't know when it comes to stuff like that, what exactly they could have helped with. But I did talk to somebody because kind of in the midst of all this, there was an assault that I don't really want to get into detail about. But in Colorado, there is a like a victims fund. And basically what that victims fund is where when people are charged with crimes and things like that, like assaults and stuff, the court fees, the penalty fees, stuff like that, it all gets put into a pot. And then when stuff like this happens, they you like apply for it and then they kind of like divvy it out. I did not know about that until I went to inpatient treatment in Denver and they told me about that. I don't know how I feel about that because I know that there's like, you know, single moms who could use that more. There's, you know, other people who could use that more. I'm sure I can look into it. There's no harm looking into it. I just don't know if that's something that I would be comfortable with because I kind of like, this is the first time I've ever filed a police report about something like that. It's happened before, but I never like filed a police report about it. This one, I was like, this has happened too many times, like 6 different times. And I cannot continue to let it happen and never do anything about it. So I filed the police report. I had to have a whole test done. I'm sure y'all could put 2 and 2 together and kind of figure out what happened. But I'm waiting to hear back about the test results. I'm waiting to hear back about the police report. So I don't really know what's going on with that. I don't even know what happened with the Daniel situation where the Special Victims Unit inspector was supposed to get back to me, but her information was stolen by Cheryl and thrown away. So they may or may not contact me. I don't know. I don't know if they ever did an investigation. I have no idea about anything. I could probably call Fort Bragg and ask the family advocacy program out there for any updates or anything, but I don't know if they would have anything because they did like a military version of it and then they did a civilian version of it, like the investigations. So I don't know a whole lot about anything as far as those go. Colorado Coalition for the Homeless. See, the thing about that is I did. And that was one of the first things I contacted. And they said that in Denver, which is where I was at the time, in Denver, everything is done on a lottery. So because of my work hours, I would never be approved for any of those lotteries because you have to be there at 5 p.m., no later than 5 p.m. And your name is put into a hat, basically. And then if your name is called for that lottery, you have a place to stay that night. And if not, you have to leave. Where you go is not their problem. So honestly, when you look into it, and I would encourage everyone, even if you don't need the resources, I would encourage everyone at some point in their life to reach out to homeless shelters and just see what it takes to get in, because you guys would not believe how hard it is. Like, it's actually ridiculous. I don't know if I mentioned this in my last video or not. But once I'm able to start working, I'm sorry about the light because I'm sitting like right in front of the window. And so it's just doing like the most obnoxious things. Once I'm able to start working, I will qualify for something called PATH, which is basically this organization that, or I guess a program that helps people with mental illness find housing. But I don't currently qualify for it because I am not currently employed. So I will qualify for that when I start working, which means I don't know what the wait list is for that out here, but I might be able to get an apartment. It could be a year or more. I don't know. So there's that. We do have Section 8 in Colorado. However, the wait lists are like 2 to 3 years. And I don't have 2 2 to 3 years to just sit around and hope for the best. Like, I just can't do that. Like, even now, like, I literally went into town just to fill out a paper because the store that I had applied at, it's like a grocery store, and the store that I applied at, like, I did it online, but you still have to go in and fill out a paper application, and I was like, okay, but why? Like, that's yeah, 7 years for Section 8 housing list, I'm not surprised. Like, those lists are so long, but the thing is, like, in America, very, very few people working normal jobs make a living wage. And because you can't make a living wage, even if you were working 2 jobs, you would never even be home, so it wouldn't matter. But because you can't make a living wage in America, it's almost impossible to find affordable housing. And when you do finally find affordable housing, it's probably because the housing is subsidized in some way. And then you have to qualify for that. And odds are you make too much for it. I made $60 too much to qualify for Medicaid. So when I went into treatment, they said, "Oh, well, since October 1st, how much money have you made?" And I said, "Nothing. My last day was September 30th. Like, that was my last day." She's like, "Oh, so you've not made any money in October?" I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Oh, cool. Now you'll qualify for Medicaid," which didn't even make a difference because the medication that they ended up prescribing me, Medicaid doesn't even cover. So there's that. It's actually really sad how hard it is to get on your feet. And I can't figure out, like, how people do it. Like, people that I grew up with that still live near Chicago, and they sit there and they're like, "Oh yeah, I work at KFC and I work part-time and I have my own apartment." And I'm like, "Okay, how?" Because I was working full-time in Alaska and couldn't afford a dry cabin. So explain. Like, I don't understand. It's so discouraging when you take a step back and you look at how hard it actually is to get anywhere in this country. Like, it's tragic. It's actually sad because it's not even the people that are getting the help are not the people who necessarily need the help or are doing anything to earn the help, I guess, which sounds awful, but so there's people like my sister. I'm just going to keep choking on dust. Oh my God. There's people like Beth Esther, who I recently found out is pregnant again. She dropped out of high school so she could get pregnant by her 30-something-year-old boyfriend. And they have a 3-year-old. And now they're pregnant again. And she doesn't have a job. She doesn't do anything. She just sits and does literally nothing. But she gets all the assistance in the world. And then there's people like me that do their diddliest to get somewhere in life. Like, went to college, had jobs, bought my own car, like all kind of things, but can't get on the path of having a place to live, making a living wage. Like I don't understand what I need to do. And I don't want to be on assistance forever, but I don't know what I don't know what I need to do in order to get to that place because they make it so impossible. And like, even for my dad, he has stage 4 terminal cancer that, yes, is in remission, but could come back at any point. One of his chemo medications costs $120,000 a month. thank God that he qualifies for Medicaid. But you know how much he gets in food stamps? $15 a month. 15 $15 a month. So every month, Medicaid can essentially buy him a brand new Mercedes or a brand new house, but he can't get food. And you're right. That is why people turn to crime, is because it's easier to make money selling drugs than it is to do anything else, because you could have a normal 9-to-5 job and still not make enough. That's why there is such a drug problem in America, is because what else are we supposed to do? Like, I'm not advocating saying like go out and sell drugs, but I'm saying like what else are we supposed to do when we can't get living wages? And I'm not saying like every person who works at McDonald's should make, $15 to $17 an hour, and that, doctors and nurses and stuff like that shouldn't. But I'm saying like if they're going to keep raising the prices of food and housing and everything else, there's got to be a give somewhere. Like there has to. But I don't think, because it's not in the best interest of the government, I don't think that's ever going to change. So we're just all kind of stuck. So there's that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm so frustrated with the whole daggone thing, honestly. I'm reading in case anyone's just like, why is she just sitting and staring? This country should not have a single hungry nor homeless. I agree. But the majority of the people who are hungry and homeless are people who were in the military once upon a time but can't get assistance through the VA. I actually found out that there is a disgusting amount of people who live with chronic mental illness that are actually in jail. They even told me that in treatment. They said they don't do institutions anymore like they used to in like the 40s and 50s. The majority of those people are in jail. And I was so disgusted that I like could not function, because I was so mad that this guy just said this so flippantly. I'm just going to move this front because I can't with the light. The fiery sunball in the sky is burning my eyeballs. Yeah, this guy in treatment, and he was just like, somebody who worked there too. He was like, yeah, people who are like sick enough for the state house that's in Pueblo, they don't actually go to the state house anymore. They actually go to jail. I was like, cool. So there's actually a really good chance that at some point in my life I will be arrested because I'm sick. That alone is disgusting. That alone is just so incredibly vile and disturbing. The fact that we can't even treat people who are sick. We'd rather throw them in jail. But also, when you think about it, when they are in jail, they get 3 meals a day, they get free healthcare, they have a place to stay, they can write letters. There's a lot of jails that offer programs for schooling so they can finish their GED, they can take college courses. Like, in some ways, you're kind of better off in jail. And that sounds awful, but it's the truth. 9 times out of 10, you're just better off in jail. And I hate that that's a world that I live in. I hate that that's something that even has to be thought of. But that's America now. And I'm not trying to sit here and be this huge political person and because I don't care about politics. But I do care about the fact that if one police officer looks at me crooked and they pull up my health record, see that I have mental illness, I'm going to jail. Like, they don't have to have a reason either. They can just have a bias and say, oh, well, I felt like she was a threat because she has extensive mental health problems. That's what you get for seeking treatment, is you get thrown in jail. So that's encouraging. But yeah, mostly I just wanted to pop on here and let you guys know what was going on, because I get a handful of messages each week from like 6 or 7 different people asking like how I'm doing, emailing me or reaching out to me on like Instagram or whatever, and just wanting to know what's going on and everything. And I wish I had more that I could tell you. I wish that I had like some big revelation to share with you guys. I wish that I had something positive, I guess, to say. But not really. Um, but I do get Wi-Fi, so hey. Um, I don't know. I don't watch my videos back, so it could look like I'm recording this on a potato. Um, so I can't help the quality because I just do live streams. It's just easier to connect with you guys, and I feel like for me personally, I like having the conversation. I like talking to you guys. I like being able to have the real-time interaction because it's easier to do things this way than anything else. So there's that. Hopefully I'll be able to do more videos and things like that since I do have like a table and a chair. Because I had a chair. I liked my chair, even though it swiveled entirely too much in one direction. But I was kind of recording on like a nightstand, which is why my stuff was like always crooked and weird looking. But yeah, I guess mostly, like I said, I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on and also kind of apologize for the quality. Like I said, I don't watch them back, so I don't know. Like they could look like absolute garbage. I just like I have a camera and I feel like I could record on that camera and it would be like better for y'all, but like quality wise, obviously. But I like being able to talk to you guys and let you know like real time what's going on. It's that connection, I guess. But anywho, I'm gonna go because the sun is going down, so I'm losing my daylight. And I need to plug in my heater because it's gonna start getting really cold, like really fast. But anyways, I am gonna throw on my jams. I'm going to watch some Hulu. If you guys have any suggestions for things on Hulu to watch, which I know not a lot of people really talk about Hulu. Most people are like, what are your Netflix suggestions? But I don't have Netflix. So if you guys have any Hulu suggestions, please let me know. I'm always looking for new things to watch. I'm going to finish up America's Got Talent, which I'm sure ended already. But I've been out the loop because I've been out the house for a bit. So there's that. But I need something to keep me busy over the next like rest of today and tomorrow until Monday comes, because Monday is going to be like all of the phone calls. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sticking with me. It's not even so much like thanks for watching, okay, bye. Honestly, like thank you guys for sticking with me because honestly, this is hard to live and I can't imagine what it's like on the other side to sit here and watch this. And I feel bad that I put this stuff out to the internet, but I feel like if I didn't keep up with it, like if I didn't let you guys know what was going on, people would be like way more concerned and questioning, like, why does she keep moving? Like, what's going on? But all of the kind words and the messages and everything, the emails, all of it, like, it honestly means so much that people take time out of their day to contact me and to, you know, send me words of encouragement and things like that. And it might not seem like a lot to send somebody a message, but I do read them all at the very least. I may not always have time to respond, but I have at least a little bit of time now. But I do appreciate everyone reaching out to me and everything. And I know I look like really tacky since I was like reapproved for monetization for my videos, and it's not, I don't have like ads on my videos because I'm like trying to be YouTube famous and get that sweet YouTube money. But it's honestly, it's like pennies. But even just those little bit, that little like chump change or whatever, like that's still gas in my truck to go to the doctor. That's still, you know, food in my stomach keeping me alive for another day. I'm not sitting here spending it on a mansion, obviously. I'm sitting in a freaking RV right now. But I do appreciate everybody who watches and leaves comments, sends messages, all of it. And I know sitting here being like, I appreciate you guys is like not that big of a deal, I guess. But yeah, hopefully one day I'll be able to do something to like give back to everyone. Don't know what. Haven't gotten that far. I'm living like second by second at this point. I'm just winging it. So yeah, anyhow, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you later. Bye.